What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we've got the weekly reset for the 5th of December in Destiny 2, and this is the first weekly reset in Season of the Wish, so it comes with a new game update, and we'll cover the changes that we know about there, and then as always we'll jump in and check out the main rewards and vendor inventories for the week. That includes new quest steps and unlocks for week 2 of the season. We also have the return of the Iron Banner, plus we've got the Eververse refresh that'll hopefully bring some interest in Bright Dust items. Plus we'll cover vendors like Banshee and Ada 1, as well as key rewards and unlocks for the week, farmable exotics, and plenty more in the video. So as always guys, I hope this one is useful, and if you enjoy it, be sure to get subscribed for more D2 content. But without further delay, let's get into it. And so firstly today we've had a new hotfix for the game, and this is update 7301. Of course, this is the first update we've had since the launch of Season of the Wish, so there are a couple of fixes in here, and initially for activities, Bungie say they fixed an issue in the Crucible that was causing delayed sound effects when depositing crests at high value beacons. And on top of that, they fixed an issue where the score to win value was incorrect, and one where players were unable to revive themselves during revive enabled modes. Plus additionally, in the tower, they fixed a problem that caused players to spawn outside of the playable area in the hangar. On top of that, they fixed another issue where inspecting items in the Eververse store could cause the game to crash. And then for Creator's End, they fixed one where players were unable to complete the All for One challenge. And then for Riven's Lair, they fixed an issue where only the first player to interact with the end reward chest was receiving loot, and another where the encounter would not properly progress after dispatching Ward Weavers, so a couple of useful ones there at least. Plus for UI and Fireteam Finder, they fixed an issue where player details weren't displaying while in the waiting room, another where emojis weren't working properly on consoles, and one where listing details and leader info didn't appear in search, plus an issue where Fireteam Finder was showing as active for players that did not have PlayStation Plus. And finally for gameplay and investment, for armor, they fixed an issue where using arc, kinetic or strand weapon surge armor mods would occasionally cause errors. Plus for weapons, they fixed a problem where Monte Carlo wasn't granting a full melee charge on its Monte Carlo method activation when the player had certain melee abilities equipped. Plus another problem where the descriptions of Deconstruct and Enhanced Deconstruct had missing information between the two. And then for abilities, they fixed one where fully charged Nova Warp attacks could cause some moving objects to stop working, and for Guardian ranks, an issue where the points awarded for non-seasonal objectives and the points shown in the progress bar were inconsistent for rank 8. And very finally, they fixed an issue where throwing a strand tangle at a specific oracle could cause the game to crash, plus another where viewing player details with invalid characters could cause crashes. So mainly a bunch of fixes there for rather irritating issues, but nonetheless positive that we've got a few of them in the game today. Next up though, as we get into the game today, of course we have the return of Iron Banner for the first time in the season. We also have bonus Valor inside of the Crucible all week long, so have fun with that if you do jump in. Of course, Iron Banner is pretty self-explanatory, are a couple of new rewards, and of course we can see them on Lord Saladin. For the season though, we need to speak to Riven to continue the story quest this week, so it'll be interesting to see what we get on that front. And otherwise, we get into some of the vendor stuff and rewards for the week right here. So let's take a look at Eververse and the Bright Dust items. Initially, we've got the Bug Catching exotic emote right here, which is available for 3,250 Bright Dust, so could be a cool one to add to collections right there. And then we have the Logic ornament for the Lament, which is available for 1,250 Bright Dust, a pretty cool one right there with some Witch Queen vibes, so maybe one to grab. And then we've got the Cannon Fodder Transmut effect available here, so have a quick preview of that one. Offered available in the Eververse store, but it's 450 Bright Dust. We also have the Spark of Joy shader, a new one for the season right here, which is available for 300 Bright Dust. Very white and very pink, rather different looking things, so let us know if you're going to grab that. But also there's Welded Brass available this week, once again for 300 Bright Dust on the front page. And then moving over to the second page of Bright Dust items, initially we've got the Boosted Backflip multiplayer exotic emote right here, which is available for 4,250 Bright Dust, so a pretty expensive one, but nonetheless it's a pretty cool one as well. We also have the Magic Wand legendary emote available for 700 Bright Dust this week in the store. And on top of that, we've got the Kit Shell exotic ghost right here, available for 2,850 Bright Dust from back in Season of Defiance. And then from last season, we've got the Bipectinate Craft, if I'm even saying that one correctly, which is available for 2,000 Bright Dust. Of course, the Lucent Moth ship right here, so a kind of cool looking thing. And then we've got the Sekhem Rig, or Sekhmet Rig, should I say. Still probably saying it wrong, but this one is available for 2,500 Bright Dust. Have a quick preview of the trail right there. And then we've got the Dancing Harlequin ornament for the Huckleberry available this week, which is 1,250 Bright Dust, so a very pink Dato ornament for the weapon, but let us know if you plan to grab it. On top of that though, there is the overflowing treasure projection available for 1500 bright dust this week as well. But for the shaders on the second page, initially, there is the iridescent coral. Once again, all of these will be 300 bright dust. On top of that though, there is the time-honored shader available this week as well. So a quick look at that one too. And then we've got the heat shielded shader available, which is sort of silver gold or yellowy gold effects going on the armor right there. So kind of cool. And also there is the growing gilt available on the second page this week as well. So give us your thoughts on shaders, but for transmat effects, which are 450 bright dust, there is the Vex invasion effects. Sorry if you heard my phone right there. On top of that though, we've got the Reef Shimmer transmat effect available in this store this week as well. And finally, the Vitreous entrance for some sort of Vault of Glass Vexy themes going on. So give us your thoughts on the Eververse inventory. Quite a few juicy items from last season available this week. And we'll probably start seeing stuff from this season a little bit later on, but nonetheless, let us know if you plan to pick anything up from the store. And next up, to stop off at Banshee right here, of course, we now have focused decoding options. So for the moment, we've got Voiced and Nomalon weapons available for focusing right there on the front page. But for the featured weapons here on the second page, we've got the Lunar Ladder 4B bow available with Steady Hands and Adrenaline Junkie. There's also the Orvandale FR6, which has got Slideways and Chill Clip. And then the Dire Promise, which has Snapshot Sights and Under Pressure, as well as Peace of Mind right here with Heating Up and Harmony. And finally, the Code Duello rocket launcher with Impulse Amplifier and Frenzy. So let us know your thoughts on any of Banshee's weapons right here, but do keep in mind the weapons and featured roles can change throughout the course of the week. And finally, at Ada 1, we've got the Retrograde armor from back in the day available this week. So if you want to add it to collections or are interested in potentially okay stat rolls, of course, check in with Ada on your various characters. But for featured shaders right here, which are 10,000 glimmer each, nothing particularly new, but there is the Valkyrie Zero from back in Warmind right here if you need to add that one to collections. There's also the Kairos Black available this week with Ada. And finally, the War Called Scheme if you're looking to add an older faction shader to collections. And hopefully she'll start to rotate more shaders in this inventory. It seems somewhat limited, but we'll see what happens. On to some of the other rewards for the week though. The Nightfall this time around will be Birthplace of the Vial. We don't currently know what the Nightfall weapon will be as the rotation hasn't been fully revealed. But it will be interesting to jump back into Birthplace after a little while. On top of that though, we see Presage as the featured exotic mission this week, and so if you're still working on picking up Dead Man's Tale or some of the older seasonal weapons, it will be a good activity to jump into. But then the weekly featured raid is Garden of Salvation, which fits the sort of loose undying theme of the season nicely as well. But in addition to that, we've got the Spire of the Watcher dungeon featured, where we can farm the Hierarchy of Needs exotic bows, so if that's one you still need to work on, there'll be plenty of opportunity to try and pick it up this week. We've also got the refresh, of course, on the brand new dungeon, the Warlord's Ruin, so good luck on the hunt for the exotic or any of the other weapons that you plan to try and pick up. And finally, right here, we'd normally cover all of the lost sectors for the week. But seasonal lost sectors are on a fixed rotation, which we haven't seen fully just yet, so we don't know all of the lost sectors that we'll get this week, but I believe after the next few days, we'll have seen the full rotation, so by next week, we'll have a better idea. For today though guys, that's what we have to round up in this video, so as always, I hope it's been useful, and if it has, a rating down below very much helps us out on the channel. Also be sure to get subscribed so I can keep you posted with more Destiny news and updates. But otherwise, I appreciate you tuning in as always, and whatever you get up to, I hope you guys have an awesome day.